Hey, wanted to get you a video of Nori, show you what we're working on this beautiful day. I want to talk to you about controlled exposure. So in the house, it's not difficult to expose her to things in a controlled way because we're setting up the scenario. So the objects that make her nervous are the things going over her head. It's easy for us to put her on place and put her further away from the thing that makes her nervous, and then break down that threshold over time where she's learning, okay, like from this distance I'm safe, from, and then we get a little bit closer and closer and closer. So with outside stuff, it's a little bit more difficult because the outside world is unpredictable. People don't know that she's scared of things going over the top of her head. So it's not like, we can really always control what other people do out and about. And so what I want to work on with her is focus on us, despite what is going on. It's something exciting, something nerve-wracking, a noise you don't understand, a person doing something that makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't matter. So you have to focus on me, no matter the case. And that can really be beneficial for a dog like her. And it actually makes her obedience far better. So we're out and about. Some of these neighbors have blow up things, but some of them, because it's been a little bit windy, have put them down, or they only put them up at night. And so those things have made her nervous. The little blow up, Santa, Olaf, snowman, all the Christmas decorations. So if that's the case, like let's say there's something up ahead and she's nervous by it, I'm going to start to work on focus by going up in this driveway. So even something behind her, like we're just dragging this long leash, because I'm also going to start working on off leash obedience. So something like that just makes her a little bit like more cautious and apprehensive, and not crazy, just where she wants to kind of look at it. And she disengages with me. So that's what I want to talk about, is when she disengages with me, I move away from her and I use e-collar right away. Because I want her to resolve that e-collar by coming back into position. Not just walking away from the thing, because she's still going to check. So if I just were to walk away and not use the e-collar, she's not going to understand what I'm really asking, because I'm being inconsistent. I'm like saying sometimes you can heal, and healing means focus, and sometimes it doesn't mean focus and just following me. So my heel position is going to be about both position and focus. So a lot of my walks, I'm not really worried about mileage. I'm just, she gets better and better with this, we can go on longer walks. And she's been doing about a mile with me. So that's pretty long. But in the beginning, I'm not worried about mileage, because I'm just worried about her ability to engage with me for longer periods of time. So the more she engages with me, the more she actually tires out mentally, not necessarily physically, but she's able to just get in a good rhythm on the walk and just settle in, and we can go for a longer walk. But the first little bit, it's a lot of, okay, where's your position? Your ear sets behind my leg or next to, and your eyes are focused up ahead. She doesn't need to be looking at me. She does need to kind of side eye my legs sometimes to make sure that she's walking with me, but I don't let her sniff. I don't let her, if I give her a chance to go to the bathroom before, and then if she needs to poop on the walk, then that's fine. You can just pick it up. But most of the time, like pee, she's pretty fast about going pee. If she takes a minute to poop, I give her the opportunity, and we just start walking. And if she needs to go during the walk, that's not a big deal. But I don't let her sniff, because we're focused on one thing, and that is healing and focusing. And those things go together. And what the benefit is let's say something comes out that is scary, we can hold her accountable for that focus. And over time, she gets more and more confident in our ability to handle and control the chaos that is unpredictable. So if we keep something the same for her, you have to heal. That's the same every time. You have to down when I tell you to down. That's the same every time. And the correction is the exact same, whether we're at home and there's nothing going on, or whether we're out and about and you're freaked out. So I don't see a ton of like freak out with her, but she does have the potential to like bark at things that make her uncomfortable. And so we want to make sure that we're just holding her accountable for that obedience, because it's really hard for a dog to be obedient and barking at the end of the leash at the same time. So if she does obedience, she has a better control. And then when she does get out of control, it might just be she breaks the heel position. We ask her to get back in the heel. It's not like she was already out of control and now she's barking and now she's being crazy and freaking out. So we kind of push that line further to more of like strict than just like, I don't want to keep anything black. I don't want to keep any gray area for her. We're going to keep things pretty black and white so she understands what's expected. So some other stuff we're working on is downstays. So this is great if you stop and you talk to somebody. So what we'll do is we'll say Nori down. Good job. So if we have a distraction or we have a dog or there's a person walking, so really good for her to work on that impulse control. And what it can teach her with a dog that's excitable as she is that person is not for you to be nervous by or like go up and jump on them, you know? So I don't necessarily see her nervous with people. It's like if they're carrying something object wise and she gets a little bit nervous by, or so I haven't seen it with the garbage trucks, but we haven't been able to catch the garbage trucks, but like big old loud trucks, I've seen her nervous. Okay, like semi trucks or something. That was a mail truck, so it wasn't super loud, but a little bit more noisy than the average car. So yeah, downstays, impulse control, really good for her. She's doing really well. Starting to just drop the leash so she can walk next to me and not be really dependent on the leash. So this is something that we'll work on in private sessions, but this is like a really big trust exercise for a lot of people and their dogs to be able to drop that leash and be like, okay, they're not going to act crazy. So yeah, and I want to be able to have to the point where Nori down, you take her in your front yard and she goes potty, and you also can regain control. So the first little while I'm gonna have you put her on the leash. So we talked about like maybe putting her on like a flexi leash or a long line to go potty, but switching the leash out when it's time to walk, so she understands the difference. Nori, heel. Good girl. And those are all things that we'll work on together when I bring her home. So yeah, just wanted to reach out and show you some stuff that's really beneficial for her. We had in-laws in town this weekend, and I'm actually have to cross the street here. In-laws in town maybe not weekend, and electrician working on the basement. Only part of our basement's finished, and so we're working on the other part of it, and so loud noises. He brought in a big old ladder like right over the top of her head because he had to go downstairs and right past the place bed, and all kinds of tools. And he's a guy we know, so he doesn't he just kind of ignores the dogs and lets them be. And I think for her that was beneficial because she was a little bit conflicted, like, do I say hi to you or do I get nervous by what you're carrying? And he just was super neutral, and the rule was just you had to stay on place. And yeah, she did really good with that. So anyway, not to ramble too much, but I wanted to just kind of talk about some principles that are really beneficial to her. The more and more we get out and about, like after Christmas, I'm gonna take the dogs out again to a store and yeah, just have her handle some of those things out and about. So anyway, hopefully you guys have a great Christmas, and we'll talk to you very soon.